Hello, all, and welcome to the seventh episode of Sportscast, where we delve into the minds of individuals in the Indian sports ecosystem and people in the sports space. Today, with me, I have yet another interesting personality. With me, I've come to expect very interesting people who have actually been coming on the show of late. Today with me is Mr. Shaji Prabhakaran, who is the president of the Delhi Football Association. So I actually came to know Saji about a year back when we were actually working together on the Football Delhi Day, where we're talking about what we can do to get Football Delhi back where it's supposed to be. So first of all, Saji, thank you so much for taking time out to be on this show. It means a lot to all of us that you've come. So obviously, naturally, my first question, I've obviously known you for a while and I've seen the kind of stuff that you do. But there's something that must have said, okay, football is what I want to do when going forward. There's something about football that it attracts me, interests me. That's something that I want to continue doing. So what was that one thing that actually got you going in terms of football?
Thank you, Abhijit, for having me here. Uh, Football it started very early for me at the age of 8, and since then I have not looked back. And
Okay.
I wanted to be a player, but the time came when I have to uh, uh, keep that aside because of the injury. And where at 21 I got injured, which is
Okay.
the time I was trying to move up the ladder, maybe thinking that I will end up playing at a bigger club or at a decent level. But then
Right.
that didn't happen, and then I thought I have to continue football. And what the other way is? The other way is to remain attached with the game and try to see what you could not do. Let you make for others to do that. Yeah, and
Right.
since Indian football was struggling in a big way, and I have seen personally the struggle and struggles of many others. And
Right.
it's not easy for a big country like India, though we were in a dominating Asia in 50s and 60s, but somehow we could not maintain that status, and then we have slipped significantly down. And I
Right.
thought,
Right.
okay, should try to help the sport to grow in whatever way possible, and I started investing myself in that direction.
Right, right. Okay, so you talk about how you came up in sport, and I was actually looking through your website, and I actually saw something very interesting. It actually said something about volleyball and cricket were very popular when you were growing up, right, and not football so much. So, but how did you discover football then? I mean, if everyone around you is playing volleyball, everyone's playing cricket. So, what did you see? How did you get introduced to football as a sport?
See, I was fortunate that just very near to my house, we had a football pitch, and we could see, everyone playing there. But then, while growing up, as I mentioned in my website, my story, that it was seasonal though. It was not that
Okay.
as 365 days you end up playing football, because that was a culture. You will only play from somewhere April to August, and come
Okay.
the Independence Day, and then maybe another few weeks of football, and then it stops, and then the winter sets in, and then either volleyball, cricket, that goes on. And but my love for football remained, and whenever I could get the exposure in the right way, I thought uh, uh, this is what I have to do, and this is what is giving me the most satisfaction. And from very early, that stayed with me. But yes, I ended up playing volleyball also, but then that was always a temporary thing.
Right, right. Okay, so you are one of those people who actually picked up the sport by actually playing it, and not like the rest of us who actually grew up watching Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United, Liverpool, and all of that stuff. But while you were growing up, and you obviously started playing at a very early age, was there one or two footballers that you saw, and you said, "I want to be like that guy or her," or something like that?
No, absolutely. Our role models at that time were our seniors in the school, our seniors in
Okay,
the local team. They were our role models because at that time we could, say the first World Cup I saw was 1986, the Maradona. That has a huge impact.
right,
That is where, say in the 85 onwards, I could see some games live at that too a Champions League, or some
right,
rare matches, and the
right,
television, that time was very rare that you will see football. But then Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, and Calcutta Football League, the Durand Cup or Fed Cup or IFA Shield was,
right,
you can hear all that broadcasting live on radio,
right,
which the Mohun Bagan East Bengal games were very popular in our when we were growing up, because in our neighbor, all were put, the flags whenever either Mohun Bagan plays or East Bengal plays. So therefore,
right,
we have had all the stories, and we have followed up of the big players of Mohun Bagan East Bengal that time, and
right,
and they whenever they played for India. So that's how we followed many players, but not as one. Yeah, till the Maradona came. That is where the
right,
whole focus, he took away from all of other players, and we started, following big way Maradona, and he has a he has inspired a lot, in our generation, and those who
right,
saw him play in that World Cup. It was absolutely magic, and that way we were, playing for 3 more hours extra, seeing him what he could do. You know,
right, right. Okay, no, it's actually very wonderful to hear that story about Maradona. I wasn't even born then, when all of this happened. And now, obviously, I look at videos of Maradona scoring the hand of God and things like that in that same World Cup. It's such a wonderful story, But I want to just pick up on one thing that you said, where you talked about East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, and that's one of football's oldest rivalries. And you had so many people who actually played for Mohun Bagan, so many people who played for East Bengal. What is the impact on Indian football that Mohun Bagan and East Bengal have brought? Because being among the oldest clubs, I mean, Mohammedan also comes under one of the oldest clubs in India. What is the impact that a Mohun Bagan and an East Bengal bring to the to Indian football today?
oh, their contribution is immense. Together with Mohammedan Sporting, these three giants of Indian football, and the Calcutta football, they made immense
Right,
contribution. And if we have, survived in football, we have to credit to them, because
right,
say in the 70s, 80s, 90s, uh, they they were the, they were the synonymous with Indian football, and that's
right,
big. They are, and today also they are big. They are big names, and their fan following is big, and the contribution is immense. And they are an institution itself, but the sad part is they haven't grown that way as expected. The potential what they got, but still, they it is nothing. Nothing is late. They are still, in a phase where I believe they can grow bigger and bigger, because they are the top clubs in India, and they
right,
can be the top clubs in Asia. And that's the strength they have. That's the potential they have. What
right,
they have to work uh, towards is, making uh, uh, what the rest of the world is doing in terms of taking the fans together and
Right.
taking the right decision, and and that is what I think they all intend to do. And I'm sure we will see the rise in Asia, and that is what
Right.
is required, because there is no doubt about their contribution, their status in Indian football. But now is the time
Right.
how they can go global.
Right. Okay. So it's you're talking about the growth trajectory of Mohun Bagan and East Bengal, and as of the recently concluded season of the ISL, we've seen Mohun Bagan come out with a new avatar of ATK Mohun Bagan, and a lot of players who actually feel very proud wearing that the Mariners shirt, right? And obviously, you've also seen East Bengal and Robbie Fowler and some great players coming. Is their participation in the ISL a step in the right direction?
No, absolutely, because the ISL is the topmost league in India, and therefore they should have been there from the first in the inaugural session itself,
Okay.
season itself in 2014. That with them, it's ISL only becomes better and bigger, and that it is rightly so. It happened, though late, but
Right.
as nothing is late, all the good decisions are you know are taken, and that way it is going to help the growth of football further, because when you have these two clubs, when they command majority of the fan base, and if they
Right.
are out of any league, means the league itself will not grow to that level with them. The league will have reached to its full potential, and that is
Right.
what is
Right.
required. And there is still a lot to be done in ISL, but it is in the right direction. Having them is only add value to overall football in India. And
Right.
what is now required is how we can grow from here.
Right. Okay. I find it very interesting that you say it's the movement of clubs from the I League to the ISL. But you still have some really great clubs in the I League. I mean, if you've seen the way Kerala has played, they're the champions this season. Or you see some of the clubs coming up like Bengaluru United, or if you see somebody like a Churchill Brothers that has been around for such a long time. What is the role of the I League today in that case?
See, I League will continue to grow. What I feel in terms of the teams reaching to a new geography in India,
Right.
that way. But what we have to also keep in mind that with ISL being the top league, I League has lost a lot of value into the
Right.
commercial value that is there. But
Right.
then we need to position the league, because every country has got second tier, third tier, fourth tier, fifth tier, even up to 10 tier leagues are there. So therefore
Right.
every league, its positions are, we need to acknowledge that fact. The I League
Right.
is a second tier league in India, and it has got its own character, it has got its own strength, it has got its own trajectory to grow.
Right.
And
Right.
we need to work towards that, because the I League, what we see is that those clubs who have invested for long, and they are those passionate clubs, and those diehard fans, those owners who are investing their hard-earned money, and putting team together. And this is not easy. Those who are running club, it's not they are running to earn money. It is, they through club, they are they are developing football, and they are investing that money which they will never get back, because
Right.
football in India right now, getting an attractive return on investment is not there right now. But
Right.
still, they this owners they invest money into football, we need to salute them, because it's not easy. The budget of I League, it's from 1.5 crore to, it can go up to 10 to 12 crore depending upon the level of players they sign. And I really value all of them. And what we need to do is we need to position the league in that way. And India is a huge country. We can, all tires of our league can grow, can reach to a bigger commercial level, and the value of all these leagues. We need to package it right, which is very important. We don't have to compete with tires. Like, we I League need not to compete with ISL. That, and as soon as we start competing, then it's a problem, because both leagues have got different characteristics, and we need to strengthen those characteristics in the league. And we need to see how we can package it better, because there are huge potential uh, in our league. I League can grow. I League can,
Right.
as second tier league, can, once it becomes, when the promotion relegation starts from
Right.
22-23 season,
Right.
that way the competitiveness of I League will also grow big time. And
Right.
that way it would create further value to it. But yeah, I know, the fans of those clubs who support I League, they are not very happy. Uh, but the this situation we got into, we cannot say blame anybody else. But then this happened. But now we have to live with it. The structure is there, and let's strengthen this structure, which is very important.
Right, right. Okay, okay. Very interesting. It actually takes me back to something which the AIFF president had said, and I believe it happened on the Football Delhi Day, where he talked about promotion and relegation happening between the ISL and the I League, which is actually something very interesting. But I want to bring it back to a larger picture, which is the ISL. And the premise of having a league like the ISL is the betterment of Indian football. And there a lot of people are seeing growth. And the other day we had Mr. Gauramangi Singh, who played for Chennai, and we had him on the show where he talked about playing alongside people like Marco Materazzi, Mikhail Silvestre, and defending against Robert Perez and all of that. um, you know um, so looking at the Indian football team today, I mean, you have a lot of stars like Sunil Chetri, who's I think almost reaching the end of his career, right? But then you also have people who are coming up through the ranks, like Changte or I think Jingan Changte. These are the kind of people, or Wangjam, Gurpreet. All these guys have been around. Where do you see Indian football going from here, and how soon do you see Indian football team qualifying for the FIFA World Cup?
I think our focus should be how we improve year on year and
Okay,
reach to the top 10 in Asia. That should be the priority, because there is no shortcut to World Cup. Yeah? We need to work hard in every aspect of Indian football, whether at grassroots level, whether at youth level, whether at the elite level, and also how we improve our competitive structure from the grassroots to the top. And simultaneously, what we need to see how we grow in Asia, and that should be the focus. And right now we are below 20, means above 20 in Asia, which is
right,
we have to climb up. And that way, once we are in top 10, then we set our focus to qualify for World Cup. And
right.
that will be a much more easier than straight away thinking how we can be in World Cup. But definitely we will be in World Cup one day, no doubt. We have a great potential. The players will definitely improve. And we also see there is great participation at every level now. And once the structure improves, once the competitiveness improves, with the players getting good facility, because I'm sure Goramangi must have shared, playing with those best players, those who were his role models, like, yeah, and you are playing with them, and that gives them a greater motivation, encouragement, and learning opportunity. And the competitiveness of those foreign players coming and playing in our league has only improved. Now
Right.
many young players are coming from foreign abroad, and they are much more competitive than those stars who played before. But that way, our players will improve, and other part is our coaches. They are also improving, and we need more coaches, Indian coaches at every level.
Right. Right.
And that is the great work we need to. There's a lot of work happening, and how we build to that, because at every level we need good coaches, and with good coaches we will produce good players. And that competitiveness at each level need to improve, because we are still, there are huge gap in terms of competitions, especially at the youth level, elite level, and at the
Right.
grassroots level.
Right. Okay. So you spoke about the grassroots level, and I think that's something that you personally have been involved in for a long time. And I also came across your book, Back to the Roots, which is a very, very apt name. So what do you think? Our football associations in India should be doing to get, or rather, what do you think should happen at the grassroots level to push India up the ladder in Asian football?
See, the grassroots level, we need to grow, significantly. Still, our participation percentage in terms of our population is still insignificant. Yeah, and more children need to be part of football, and that's how football should exist everywhere, in every
Right,
locality, in every school, in every village, and every district we should have clubs. And that's how we should be able to, bring in more children. And if we have more children playing football, we will have more and more talented players up there. And uh, uh, and that is what need to happen. See, in terms of significant percentage of participation, definitely northeast states are doing very well,
right,
but other states we still, far behind. And in Bengal also this percentage has come down significantly. How we can grow more children into playing football, and in spite of, what in their ability, in spite of,
right,
it should be inclusive. And what grassroots football, if you read my book, I am trying to say is that, football is for everyone, and we should engage every children into it, because of, at the end, grassroots football is about holistic development of a child itself.
right,
And it's, the maybe it is just 0 point some percentage of player will end up playing professional at the end, but majority of them will become healthy, will become, good citizens. They will be, productive in their life, and they will follow football for their life. And that is what is
right,
required. We need to build that ecosystem, and that ecosystem can only be built, which will become vibrant, if our grassroots are vibrant.
right, right. I find it very interesting that you say, football is something that will set you up for life, right? Is it, and this is something that I keep saying to people as well. Football, or rather any sport, it actually gives you that kind of belief that you can do something apart from just doing something that you never thought you could, right? But you spoke about the sports ecosystem as a whole, and the sports ecosystem is also made up of sports executives, or people who work in the back office and not just players. And you, as somebody, you have been quite fortunate that way to have made a career in sports, right? So for the benefit of those who are listening to us today, um, How do you see the sports ecosystem evolving from a back office aspect?
The opportunities in football ecosystem is growing, and this will grow
Okay.
tenfold in next 10 years. That's no doubt. But those who are planning to be part of this ecosystem, what is required is one need to think that passion alone won't help. Or
Right.
we all say we have greatly passionate about sport, but then it's very important, based on my experience, what I would say is that start engaging yourself with the game. Be
Right.
volunteer for a club, for a local community program. Learn from doing, which is very important. And
Right.
yeah, majority of us today we follow big clubs from Europe. That's good,
Right.
but then start focusing, or start also engaging yourself with a local club. Attach yourself with a local club. They may be the bottom of the table. They may be just starting to crawl or walk, but we need to be part of them, and that is where we will learn than anywhere else. And if we
Right.
start engaging ourselves with the most struggling side, the most say resource crunch side, where things are very difficult, where they don't get a dollar to get a spot through sponsorship. That is where you will learn more, and that is where we need to engage ourselves. And you will find better situations as well. If you are in best of the cities in India where there are big clubs, you are lucky enough. And try to be part of those clubs, and start working, engaging. It's not required you need to be full time. You spend an hour in a week, and that too for a year, 2 year, you will pick up a lot. And that's like bigger than an MBA or a sports management at the end. And that is very important. And that those experiences will come handy, and that is where we will make our career grow. And if we are not going through that phase, we rely on only our knowledge with what we see, those big clubs, they play in Champions League or in the big leagues, and our degrees, that won't be enough. What is required is our own experiences with football, and that can only come when we start engaging with the local community work, and see what is the situation there, what are those challenges they face, what are those opportunities. And the it will open up the world for everyone. And that is what football is. And football is a global sport. It doesn't stay with the locality where you are. It may be somewhere in the remotest part of northeast, or remotest part of south, or remotest part of west, or north. You We can grow with the game. And we need to be very, very honest about what we want to do, and our integrity should be always with the game. Yeah, and that
Right.
is more important. And we will gain a lot. We will have a lot of hard times, but those hard times will strengthen us to grow and do things, and at the end we will be satisfied. And that is what is one is required. The opportunities are plenty, say whether in the whether it comes to the digital side of football, whether it is comes to the administration management side of football, whether it is on the development side of football, whether it's on the infrastructure side of football, or on the operation side of football. It's like on the analytics side now. That's a big area, that was the sports analytics, and sports science, sports medicine. There's
Right.
sports equipment. There are so many areas. We will have more than 1,000 different positions you will find in a football club or in a football structure. And but what we need is, we need to prepare ourselves to get those things, what we want.
Right.
And it's not easy, but if you get something easy, then we will lose it. But if you get something with all the hard work and all the struggles, it will remain with you. And that's what happened to me. And that is what I cherish, all my struggles and those failures. Learn from failures. And football, when you watch a game, uh, you see the big stars also fail at a particular
Correct.
moment in a game, but they keep trying. If Messi, if he dribble past 10 times, he's failing 3 4 times also in a game. Yeah. But he never sits back. He keeps trying. And it's just a Messian example, but every player we see, that is where we need to see that we might fail, or we might get
Right.
discouraged, we might get rejection, but we have to keep trying. And
Right.
we will get there.
Right. Okay. So very, very inspiring stuff, Shaji. Thank you for sharing that. I think you shared stuff for sports executives, and not just people in sports, but I think for everybody. You keep trying, and at one point you will succeed. So on that note, Shaji, thank you so much for being part of this show with us today. Means a lot that you come in and shared your experiences about what it takes to build a football association in one's image, or also what it takes to be part of the sports ecosystem in India, which is growing very, very rapidly, as we can see. Thank you so much, Shaji. Looking forward to hearing from you more. Looking forward to having you on the second season as well.
Thank you, Abhijit, for having me. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye.